Look at this. It took literally 2.5 minutes and he's not going to jump again. He's making mistakes and you're not holding him accountable, and then we're complaining about the mistakes.
Let's talk about the eggs in the morning. Go ahead.
We're reformatting your relationship.
He's had 2 weekends off in his entire time that I've had him with going to a professional trainer. My biggest problem is he jumps, gets too excited, but I like that. Like, I want him to be friendly, but I don't want him to like knock people over and stuff like that.
When you say training, does that mean like you're bringing him out in training, or you're training with the group classes, or what does that mean?
I've done a couple group classes or one-on-one training with trainers that just aren't up to par. I'd like him to do the therapy dog sessions, which is like going in hospitals and stuff like that. And
right.
He just has to behave when he does that. He also pulls on your sleeves a lot. So he pulls on her sleeves,
kind of
stuff like
picks
that.
on you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he does it to me when I don't give him attention. If I'm in the kitchen, he'll bark at me.
That's the second thing.
He wants
demand
eggs?
bark. No, demand barking is his second big thing.
Okay.
He'll do downstays and everything, but if I leave him alone, he'll try and get my attention. I would like off leash. I don't know if I want to do an e-collar. I know you do e-collars. Mm-hmm. Is there any way that we could do off leash without an e-collar, or?
Yeah, you can always do anything without equipment. The problem is once reality hits in, that's where that's why we use equipment, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to use a harness and a martingale, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't get any benefit from you using other things. My concern, again, depending on where you live, because in other places, if your dog doesn't come back, they're dead. They're either under a car or they're eaten by something. That's always my concern. Is I care too much about dogs to say, yeah, your dog's completely off leash, but if it comes down to the circumstances of what if they don't listen, that's the question you have to ask yourself. I don't want to have to use the e-collar. I don't want to have to use any collar. And it's not about, well, I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. It has nothing to do with that physically. It has to do with, I want the dog to just listen to me. So when you say off, I want the dog, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. And they go, oh, I don't want to get in trouble because they've been corrected or punished at some point. We reward good behaviors, and we make sure as teachers and as owners and as parents that we lead with real understanding of what their expectations are. The e-collar is a representation, and it's just that what if moment. So if they do decide not to listen, the e-collar is the only thing in the world that'll hold a dog accountable completely and utterly off leash.
Dakota's on a leash. I mean, on an e-collar still, right? And are you ever going to take him off? Or
she can be off an e-collar anywhere.
Okay. Anywhere
that I go. The only reason why I use the remote collar with her when I'm in certain environments is because I don't know what's going to happen around me. So the e-collar is just one of those things like the seatbelt is. All three of you go into your cars and you put your seatbelt on. You don't look at the driver and go, you don't know how to drive yet? Why are we wearing seatbelts? I don't understand, right? Yeah. So the e-collar is that extra barrier of, and I kind of equate it to responsibility and love. I love my dog so much that whatever I've ever thrown at this dog as far as training, I know that if something crazy happens, I know that if I need to use some sort of stimulation or anything, I still can. I think dog owners in general have the wrong mentality of like, I want to move away from the prong. I want to move away from the remote collar. I want to move away from, you got to phrase it a little bit differently. You should be moving away from the usage of it. Like if you use your seatbelt every day you got in your, maybe you shouldn't be driving that car. You shouldn't be using your seatbelt that much, maybe once in a lifetime or hopefully never. All right, you guys, I wanted to let you know we are doing a really, really, really cool giveaway on the Members Club. I'm actually gonna pick 2 people this month and at the end of next month to fly to their house and train their dog for a day. All you guys have to do to simply enter to win is be part of the Members Club. That's all you have to do. Links in the description below. Let's work on maybe some of the jumping, so we'll give him a break, okay. And then I'll just kind of, meet him and greet him, and then I want to just see what normally happens. Okay. So we'll give him a little break. Okay. Free hands. I just want to see how you do it.
Now he's not gonna jump. This is okay. There he goes. All right.
So let's try it again.
Okay.
Enzo, come here, buddy.
There you go.
Good. Good boy. Good job.
I can't.
Abracadabra.
Off.
Here, let me see. Here, do it again, Kason.
Hi.
It's almost like he knows.
Off.
But that's what okay, but now he's like sulking.
Yeah, he's sulking, he's got in trouble though. Here's what I tell people, okay? If you don't teach him what's wrong and right, and you're not assertive enough with what's wrong, then you can't complain about him doing things, right? So you can't say, oh, I really don't want him to jump, but I don't want to teach him not to jump. You know what I mean?
You see his personality now is going to be that mush.
Here, Casey, just hang out with him
Look,
again.
he's going to my mom. I knew
Enzo,
it.
come here.
Ma, leave him alone. Leave him alone. He won't do it now.
Good. So then you flip, right? It's like you corrected him for jumping because we don't want him to jump. And now he's like, well, I'll just roll over. He's not going to jump again with me, but the goal is when you say off, he doesn't jump again. So again, it's a seatbelt thing. We shouldn't have to correct him again with Kaysen under this context. But the off is the command. So you always want your verbal commands to be the thing that he listens to. And then depending on your reinforcements and like there's no accountability for him jumping up until me just doing it. So why would he stop jumping? Especially if he's jumping and we're not doing anything about it and we're paying him right here. Who's a good boy? You have to be fair with him. You tell him, hey, off. And if he doesn't do it, correction. You just have to make sure that you guys are teaching him, because the sulking in this type of thing is because he's getting away with the other stuff often. So he's like, well, everyone else lets me jump. Like, I don't get in trouble with that. Like, you know, because then I'm the bad guy. When I'm like, no, I'm not the bad guy. I'm just the one that's really teaching you. Good heel. When you ask the question of, is the dog allowed to jump on some people or not? Right. You're the one who controls everything. Your obedience is what trumps everything. If I told her, stay, left, place, what does she want? That, right?
No, he won't. With what he wants in the floor?
Listen to my point. My point is if he wants to jump, yes. If he wants to jump, like she can have this ball, right? So this is her jumping. Oh, she's jumping, this is fun. Heel. Now she can't have the ball. So whatever I do, doesn't matter what she wants. Doesn't matter if he wants to jump. Doesn't matter if he wants to pull. When you say heel, the dog has to do whatever you want them to do.
Can we ever get to that position with him?
Yeah, if you hold him accountable, it's your control. She wants that more than anything. Your job is to dictate how the scenario is going to go in the context. The dog wants the ball or the dog wants to jump. It doesn't matter what the dog wants to do. If you have good obedience, nothing else matters. If you have a man-eater or you have a dog like Enzo that just wants to go kiss everyone's face, but your obedience is good, nothing else matters. I think people get too tripped over the actual instinctual behavior of, come here, Enzo, and the dog jumps up on you. You should be at like, yes, couché. So I said, you can have it, now you can't. Yes, couché. And then I told her to down in French. Left. Now I told her to heel. Yes. Platz. Told her to down in German. Out. She got a treat in normal English. Left. If your obedience is good, no means no, off means off. Like again, this is jumping, yes. Yay, we're jumping, this is cute. Out. Can't have it anymore, gone. Nope, not yours. And now we move away.
He would do things like that with treats. I've seen him throw it and you say no and he won't go near it. Not me, him. Mm-hmm. But it's just with the jumping, you know, all hands off. I'm doing what I want to do and then.
Yeah.
I think we're focusing on jumping too much because there's other things that like the barking is probably.
I think
like
I think it's more of the application of what are you doing about your problems than it is the actual granule problems.
Yeah, you're right.
Jumping, pulling, barking.
You're right.
What are you doing about it? That's what matters. You got to tell him what you want him to do. So if we wanted to come over here, we could. Enzo, sit. Good sit. Stay. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Distraction. Go touch. Adios, amigo. Good.
But see, now if I was holding Enzo,
Good
he'd
touch.
want to play. Like he would want to play with the other dog. I mean, they've never
Well,
met.
I think it just comes down to like him trying to figure out what he should be doing. But I think with you, it's party city. But you want to have that balance. Okay, Enzo, break.
Good job, buddy. Well done. Good job, bud.
Like you said, I think it's a great way to put it. I think you guys are focusing too much on like the jumping and the barking. It's like, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? I think it's just an overall, what are you not doing right, you know? Okay, he does not care about that dog. You care more about that dog than he does. Good job, Enzo. Off. So that was much better there. Good.
Let's talk about the eggs in the morning. Go ahead. What did you do wrong this morning?
I had eggs.
Yeah?
And I'm talking to him, and he knows he sits, because in the kitchen he sits and he's down, waiting for me to make the eggs. So this morning, I had the eggs in the dish. He sat like a soldier. We were talking, and it was like, Mark, just, hey, I'm here. Aren't you going to give me what you're holding? So I went and gave it to
You're like, oh, wait, hold on. Let me give it to him.
Yeah.
This is the problem. And then he sees a little Labradoodle outside, and he's barking to go outside.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you let him go play?
You taught him that barking is what we do for food. So if we're paying him for that, you can't, in the future, you cannot get upset if he barks at you. You cannot. That's what you've trained him to do.
Like, how could I tell him? Like, he wanted those eggs. Should
Yeah.
he just come up to me and wiggled around me, or should he have? What should he have done to say, "Hey, I'm here. Can I eat them? I'm starving. It's my breakfast."
I think it's not the food that he barked again later to get what he wanted.
You're right.
And that
that's
was
it,
like going outside, playing with the other dog. He went to bark to talk to that other guy.
Then it's me.
So in his mind, he's saying, I bark, I get what I want.
Right.
Rather than I'm telling her that I want the eggs.
I just, you have to just pick your battles of like what you want.
He's a mush here. I don't know why. Like he's so like
Well, he knows he's got to work. This is workplace. But
And he
again,
sees weird dogs.
it just goes to show you, like, that's what I'm saying, is he's like, when I leave here, I can get away with everything.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a what I do when I leave here. But if you gave him structure universally, he would be chill all the time. And so say somebody did come up and want to play with him and interact with him, and you'd say, okay, break, and then you just follow him up, and then you just, oh, we're just working on a couple things, and then he jumps up, off, boom. Oh, I don't mind, he jumps, I actually like that. Then that's where, as a parent, again, your little toddler's saying the F word over and over, and ah, ha, ha, so funny, and you're like, no, this is not okay. But again, like, you can't then next week say, oh my gosh, look at my kid swearing like crazy. It's like, well, you let that happen. If he went up to somebody, I'd say, yeah, he's really friendly. And then he mouthed, and you'd say, hey, leave it. He jumped up, off. And you just manage him as he does what he does. And right now, when he does things that you don't want him to do, that you're paying a lot of money for training, you're not doing anything about it. So it'll never get better. So if you guys just want to greet him fairly, and then you're just going to work on the off.
Enzo?
Good. Yep. New person. Good. Perfect. And then that's where you can give all the attention, right? So
Now he
So
goes
see
to
how
his belly.
he's
Off.
and then flip the leash, prepare yourself just in case he jumps again, because that timing matters.
Now he's gonna do it now. Off.
So after he jumps once and you say off and he jumps again, that's where the correction is pretty warranted pretty quick. Kyle?
Without even
Let's do it with Kyle now. I saw that, trying to sneak away. Good.
so the correction after a first off is okay, just without
Yeah.
even saying off?
Yeah, so like if he
Off.
off, and then that's where, because you already offed him over here,
Yep.
you would correct him. Okay. So like after the first time he jumps up and you say off, the immediate
Off.
there, like good. That's the immediate correction.
I'd never do that to him. See?
But that's what you want. Like he's like, oh, so jumping is bad and laying on my back is good. Yes, that's correct. When he jumps the first time, you can just give him that verbal off. And then if he doesn't get off, you can give him pressure. But after that first time, he's like, I got you, dude. But the second time he jumps, that's where the immediate that warrants that immediate correction, because he's basically flipping you off.
But when I do the correction, you saw it. When I normally do it, it's more of like a pressure pull, not a snap.
Yeah.
It should be a snap.
Yeah, just a quick snap.
Okay.
It's precision over power. So you're not trying to pull him away, and you're not trying to crank him, and you're not trying to hurt him. It's a very precision-based thing. And then he goes, oh, so I roll over? That's exactly what we're trying to work on.
Yeah.
In that scenario there, he jumped 5 times and got corrected the 4th time. But you see that one correction changed everything.
It does.
But again, if you don't do it, if you don't hold him accountable, then it's not going to change anything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Click here to subscribe to my channels to see more videos just like this.